Hello and welcome to the Erin Cruz Show. We have on with us tonight Christian Valiente. He's running for the 35th district here in the state of California. You know, it's really interesting to me. So many candidates are working so hard. We want a red wave 2018, 2020, 2022, 2024, all the way across the state and across the nation. But Christian Valiente, he's working hard. We can't wait to hear from you. What have you been up to?
Well, I've been tightening up the campaign, especially now we're about 2 months away.
Coming down to the line, right?
Yeah, it's right around the corner, so things are starting to get really tight, but I think we're doing okay as far as the campaign goes. I'm running against Norma Torres.
Right.
She's a Democrat, and she's a career politician, so she's hopped off from either mayor, state senate, assembly, and just hopping political seats left and right. And so, but in any case, the people.
She's a leech on the taxpayers' back.
There you go.
I mean, is she serving the constituents of the district? That's my question, because I think that so many Democrats are walking away from the Democrat Party because this progressive left body has pretty much taken over and isn't representing the people.
No, they're not. Actually, when I've been knocking on a lot of doors, and there's a lot. This is a heavy Democrat district,
right?
But believe it or not, I thought it was bad, but it's actually a lot worse than I thought. A lot of these Democrats, they're either not going to vote for the incumbent, or they're just going to stay out of the race because, what they tell me, everyone's telling me is the party that I used to vote for does not represent me anymore. And Norma Torres, she's isolated her constituents. And, as a representative, you're there to represent everybody. You might not agree with everybody, but you have to have an open ear, and you got to listen to your constituents. And she has not done that at all.
She hasn't. And I think that that's something that a lot of Democrats are waking up to, because they're really seeing that there are a lot of problems in the state and across the nation, and most of the real problems are in Democrat strongholds.
No, it's bad. California is not doing too well, regardless of what you might hear out there. We're actually, and I have a video out in my Facebook. But we were ranked the worst place to do business out of all 50 states. We're also ranked last place when it came to quality of life.
Because of infrastructure?
No, it's bad. And the middle class is leaving California. And I've run into a lot of families. I ran into a gentleman, one of the cities in the district, and I knocked on his door, presented myself. He's like, "Oh, don't worry about me, I'm leaving." And I said, "Oh, well, where are you headed?" "Oh, I'm headed to Texas." And I said, well, do you have any family members that might want to vote? They're like, "Oh, they're all gone. We're all live in California, and we're going to Texas, and we're going somewhere where
good people."
Yeah, they're good, great people. And I was just shocked. And it's I've seen it all over the place. It's happening. It's real. And people that are either ignorant of that are in for a rude awakening. So
Right. Well, the most important part is also getting people out to vote, even if they do feel disenfranchised or they're not sure who to vote for. And one way to do that is using, the gas tax. Prop 6, get people yes on 6, get your money back. Politicians, time and time again, that it's great for them to write new laws, to, pass new regulations, so that way they can get more revenue off of the taxpayer back. And it's time that real Californians turn out that vote and get government back under control. And that's also a way to get them out to vote for people like you who want to help them.
No, it's exactly. One of the things
them.
they tell me is, the cost of living is extremely high here. The only state that beat us out was Hawaii, and that was by a slight margin. After Hawaii, California is the next highest, most expensive state to live in, and they're feeling it. The people are feeling it. I actually have a brother-in-law who recently he paid almost $500 in just registration fees for his truck, which is, to me, is ridiculous. I mean,
where's the money going?
Exactly. So
it sure isn't going to roads.
No, no,
Have you
and
seen the roads?
we
Have you driven on the roads? You can't. I'm afraid to drive that very expensive car with very expensive registration on those very rundown roads.
yeah, it's and people are seeing right through that. They're seeing right through
Yes.
it. Even the Democrats, they're tired of it. I knocked on this other gentleman's door, and he just asked me, "Who are you running against?" And I said, "I'm running against Norma Torres." And they said, "Oh, I'm a Democrat, but you know what? You have my vote. Let me get your card, your information." And I said, "Wow, this
Good.
is really happening. This is happening now in California, blue state."
Right, right. And I think more often than not, people, you know, the media tries to make people out that they're dumb, that they're not informed. And certainly there are things we all can't be informed on 100%, right?
Sure.
But Californians aren't stupid. They're not dumb. They see what's going on around them. And with social media, with the information age like we have it, you can't hide all the information from the people forever. The
No,
information will get out there, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing the Erin Cruz show, is to help people get out their message, because Californians want to know, what are my options.
exactly. And what helps too is the new social media age we're going into. So a lot of people are more connected now, and they're seeing things, and they're recognizing that their party is not representing them at all.
Like
And
her, she's not representing them.
no, and there's some people there that they don't want to believe it, and they're just gonna stay blue. They'll tell me, "Hey, I'm just sticking with blue, and that's it."
Right.
But majority that I've met, and this is a very heavy Democratic district, majority either are not turning out to vote, or they're gonna vote. They're not gonna vote incumbent. So that's a good thing
Right.
for me, at least.
Right, and that's important. Is there's nothing wrong with hiring somebody new, because that incumbent money, the people need to realize that incumbent money is huge. It's
Yeah.
it's also about power, name recognition, and other things. And that's, as we've learned time and time again, that's no reason to let somebody stay in that elected position, in that
Yeah.
position of power. Like you said, the incumbent you're working to oust has had, multiple government positions, and is staying in the position of where people are continuing to vote for her.
Exactly.
And that's no reason to vote for somebody. What issues matter to these constituents? Because my guess is most of them have families, and they
No,
want a
most of them
safe
have
community.
families. No, and believe it or not, this district here is it's a largely a faith community. There's a lot of
Right.
Catholics, a lot of Protestants, a lot of Christians, and this is why my platform, when I tell them, I said, look, my platform is faith, family, and freedom. I'm willing to advocate for all three of those and defend them, because especially here in California, where there's the local state laws that are impeding in our freedoms, especially the people of faith, it's ridiculous. And believe it or not, a lot of the Democrats that have children in public schools, they're telling me, look, I don't like what they're teaching my kids, and I can't
It
afford.
goes well beyond what they should be
Yeah.
teaching our children. Government has overstepped that boundary, and I think it's lost a lot of trust of Californians, because
No,
it's,
they have. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah. They see
what?
the writing on the wall.
Right, yeah, they see the writing on the wall. So now, what message are you giving these individuals who are walking away? I think it sounds like you're giving them hope and ideas about what you can do to work for them. But what is it that you're specifically telling them, that's helping them to understand that you'll be able to do that good job for them?
Well, one of the things is I'm a small business owner, and so I completely understand the ins and outs of owning a small business. Being able to fulfill payroll every 2 weeks, manage employees or whatnot. And so I tell them, listen, I'm making it happen here in California, but the deck is stacked against all businesses here, and it's very
Right.
difficult. So as your congressman, I tell them, look, at the federal level, I'll do everything I can to make sure we whatever bill, whatever comes through the House of Representatives, that it's friendly and it's going to help at least the economy here in California, business-friendly policies that's going to help us liberate these businesses here. Because, like I said, right now we were ranked the worst place to do business. And a lot of it has to do with the policies here in the state, But if I can help at the federal level, that's just another layer of protection for the businesses here. And not only that,
Absolutely.
but independent contractors, they've been hit hard here as well recently. They've passed a couple of laws here in California that made it hard for Uber drivers and those type of people that work as an independent contractor, made it more difficult for them, especially barbers that work at a barbershop.
Right. I mean, it. I always thought, and I've always viewed it that state rights are so valuable, so
Yeah.
important. We have to retain our state rights. The federal government, you never want it to become too powerful.
No,
Right now, we see thuggery at the California state level,
it is.
and we really need a balance. That balance of power, where the people who are legislating on the federal level safeguarding the citizenry, because right now we do have thuggery in politics in Sacramento,
No, it's
and they're waging war against the United States citizens who live in California. And it's, sure, we can move, but we don't want to move. This is our state. So, finding that balance, I'm so glad that you brought that up, working on a federal level, that, you'll do what you can in that space to ensure that you have California lives in mind, because it's important for the future generations. So vital.
Yeah, then we need that. Then, like I said, as a representative, you're there to represent everyone in your district
Yeah.
and their best interest, and that's your focus at the federal level. And so, for example, Norma Torres, she voted against the tax cuts. As high as the cost of living here in California, she still decided to vote against a tax cut, knowing very well Californians are already through the roof with taxes, the cost of living, gas tax. They're getting hit everywhere, and on top of that, she decides to vote against it, calling it the GOP tax scam or whatever she wanted to call it. But you have to be there for for your constituents, and she wasn't there for that.
Right, and I'm sure rather than saying, hey, maybe this will work, if it works in 6 months, California needs to marry their tax situation with the
Yeah,
federal tax plan and make lives easier, and stop stepping on small businesses and other things. Instead, she used her power for bad, and probably went, if I recall, a bit anti-Trump and anti-Republican on that
yeah,
issue, dividing instead of finding solutions. And what I'm hearing from you is, you see, we need tough decisions made. We need real solutions. What's your
exactly.
what's your viewpoint in terms of border security and enforcement there?
Okay, I'm for the wall, and I believe in border security. When I spoke with a gentleman recently, when I was knocking on his door, Hispanic male, and he tells me, what party are you? And I said, I'm Republican. And he tells me, why are you on the wrong side of history?
Mm.
And I tell him, listen, can I give me a few minutes and I explain to you what's going on? Now he was upset because of the family separation, what's going on at the border. And I tell him, look, a lot of these people that are crossing the border, a lot of the children are being smuggled by coyotes, and so they oftentimes, when they get caught at the border, they don't have any IDs, and the children don't have any IDs for obvious reasons, but they often want to pass themselves off as the father or the parent or the parental.
It's human trafficking.
Yeah, it's human trafficking. So, what is the government supposed to do? We have to verify, especially for the safety of that child, that this person is.
Who are they?
They are, yeah. And a lot of these people are being caught and being deported because they either have a crime, a record of being either murderers, smugglers, whatever the case may be. And I think we need to be tough on the border. I think we have to be tough on the border. It's essential for our nation. We're a sovereign nation. We need to protect our borders.
Right. No border, no nation. So, and I think you bring up a very good point, is who are these people? And we need to make sure and protect those children, because the deal is this is a humanitarian issue, and
Yeah,
a strong border will deter these sorts of traffickers from bringing over these unaccompanied minors. And again, even the ones who have people with them, who are these individuals? How do we verify if they're undocumented and all this? And it's a piece of the media that they are lacking to get the populace the information they need to be well informed. and instead they're pulling on heartstrings, and they're dividing people, and they're pushing people into that position right there, exactly, and saying, I'm not going to vote for a Republican because they want to tear apart families. That's not it at all. As a matter of fact, we would rather that the families stay together at their home nation and fight to better their own communities. And if they want to come here legally, there is a process for them to do so. So I think that unfortunately the messaging is poor, and you're on the brunt of it. You're on the front lines, and it's so good to hear the response of these individuals to your sharing information.
No, he actually, once I explained the process to him, and I said, look, it's not safe. Look, if we don't secure the borders, the families from whether it's Central America, Mexico, wherever the case may be, they're going to continue to send their children. And I said, I told them, do you know what they do to their daughters that they send over here across the border? They give them birth control pills. Do you know why they give them birth control pills? Because they have a high possibility of either being raped or having to give services.
And that's just why they're being trafficked.
Yep. And so once I told him that, he kind of just dropped his guard and he said, "Wow, I didn't know that. I thought it was just something else." And once he explained it to them, they look at everything a little bit different now.
Yeah. Well, these are hard conversations, but again, I believe that, again, Americans aren't stupid, Californians aren't stupid. They would rather have the tough conversation and have solutions than have this kick the can mentality on both sides of the aisle, not getting the work done and wasting a lot of money, precious resources in the process. It's people like you that'll help make that difference. And I'm so glad that even despite who you're running against, that you are fighting so hard for the constituents there. What is her viewpoint on debating you? Has she debated you yet? I couldn't find anything.
No, I didn't ask for a debate, but I'll be more than happy to have a debate with her. The last candidate that ran against her asked for a debate, and she denied him. So I looked at the previous race very closely, and and so his name was Tyler. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he ran against her, and he was asking her for a debate numerous times, and she denied him that request. So for this race, I didn't even want to bother. To be honest.
Does it matter? Does it matter if the person isn't serving the constituency? The constituency needs to know you're open to it.
Yeah, I'm open to it. Yes, correct. Look, she's not even campaigning. I don't think. I think she's that confident. To be honest, I actually I wanted it to be that way. She's actually helping out another candidate in Orange County, trying to go against Young Kim. She's helping him in his campaign. But she's not even focusing on her campaign here.
But she's not worried. She thinks she has it in the bag, and she thinks that.
I've been working on stealth mode, and I've been having
probably a good place to be.
Yeah.
So
what happens?
Yeah. It's good to know that you're working hard, and where can people? I have to, end the interview here, but I want people to connect with you. I want people to offer time, talent, and treasure, and get involved in your campaign. Where can people go to find out more information about you?
Sure. So I have my webpage, which is www.votevaliente.com.
Mm-hmm.
I do have some information there. You can reach me on my, more than likely, if you reach out to me on my Facebook, I'll respond a lot quicker there.
Okay.
And that's www.facebook.com/C as in Charlie, and then my last name Valiente and the number 4.
So now, do you have links to your Facebook on your website too?
I do. All of my stuff's there.
So they can find your social through your website, and they can just type in your name. I'm going to put it here in the comments, but in case people, this is the information age. This interview gets pulled and peeled and sent and, copied and pasted. So the comments may not be there, but nonetheless, hopefully people will get connected one way or the other. And again, it's all about sharing the conversation and the long run of conservatism and making a brighter future for Californians in the United States of America, really. And we're glad that you're a part of that. And we want to continue to encourage you to to work hard, and let us know if we can help in any way. Okay.
Oh, thank you for taking the time to for this interview. And
Absolutely.
like I said, as long as we continue to get the message out, I think people are waking up here. I'm seeing it firsthand at ground
Door
level.
to door, seeing it firsthand.
Seeing it firsthand, and hopefully those results will speak for themselves come November 6th.
Yes.
But it's
And
happening.
remember, every time you knock on a door, the gas tax, bring that up. There are a lot of commuters who really could use that money in their pocket.
Yeah, especially those truck drivers, the truckers. Truckers are really upset right now.
And you're in an area which could, it impacts a lot of people. So, make sure to spread that message. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the interview, and God bless, and take care. Be safe out there.
Thank you so much. God bless you guys, and you guys have a good one. Thank you.
To hear more and to learn more on how you can make an impact or about the Erin Cruz Show, visit us online at erincruz.com. That's ERINCRUZ.com.